Hi guys, I'm Chris and welcome back to another episode of 2RM. Right, Cadwell Park. I am really looking forward to this one. It's now going to be my 41st race ever. And the last time I was at Cadwell Park was 2019 for my second ever race. So it's been a long time since we were there. And when we did go there, the car was slow, I was slow, it was horrendous. So, really looking to get a good result this weekend. Now, Cadwell Park really comes up on the calendar. I mean, the last road sports race there was 2019. The last club sport race there was 2020. It's not really a pit stop race circuit because it does have a pit lane, but it doesn't have garages, and can be a bit awkward. So, but what a circuit it is! I just can't wait to get back out there. I've had podiums at Snetterton, Brands Hatch, Oulton Park, and Donington Park. But the 5th MSV circuit, Cadwell Park, I don't have a trophy from, so I want to complete that collection now. Because it's so rare that we race there, I don't know how long it will be before I get a chance to go back and compete for a win. So it's really important to me that I get a win this weekend. So I can not only say I've got a podium there, but I've got the win, and we can tick that one off and call it done. So today is Friday. We're racing on Sunday, and I am just taking the car, you can see it on the trailer behind me, up to Northampton Motorsport to get the corner weights and alignments done, full chassis set up with James, because we've worked out that we messed up the front suspension so bad at Snetterton that whereas normally you run a bit of rake in the car as it goes along, we're actually running negative rake. That's why it was just so difficult to drive and was horrendous. So we're going to get it all set up and sorted and done. I'll try and film some bits so you can see what happens. And then after that, I've got to do a small nut and bolt check, bits and pieces like that. And then we're driving up on the Saturday. Sol's coming with me, of course. And racing on the Sunday. So Cadwell Park. They call it the mini Nürburgring, and if you've looked at pictures or you've seen onboard footage, you see why. It is just incredible. A real driver's circuit. The only thing that would make Cadwell Park even better than it is if it was by the sea, like Anglesey is. I mean, that would just be insane. But it's not. It's in the Lincolnshire Wolds. Actually, it's probably only half an hour's drive from the sea. But yeah, it's out in the Wolds. It's got everything: fast corners, slow corners, uphill, downdale, all of it. You name it, it's there. It's a proper driver's circuit, and I'm not going to be anywhere near the lap record. I know that, but it doesn't matter. Just need to get a good result. So I've got a 15-second penalty to serve because I won at Silverstone. I had to do 15 seconds at Snetterton. So, and then that drops to 10 for Cadwell Park. But because I got my third place at Snetterton, that adds another 5 seconds back on. So back up to 15 seconds penalty. And my only competition this weekend is the Suzuki Swift. Bit of a low entry for Cadwell Park. I think a number of reasons. Mainly is that it's the first weekend of the school holidays, so all the kids are broken up from school, so everyone's gone away. But also, whereas Road Sports is at Cadwell Park, on the same day, Club Sport Trophy is at Snetterton. So it's kind of split the 45-minute crowd each way. So yeah, low kind of entry. So just in Class D, it's just me and the Swift. Now, he's only got a 5-second penalty to serve, whereas I've got 15. So I've got to make up 10 seconds on him and pass him on a very tricky track. But we'll give it a go. hopefully we get the car set up right, it'll be fast. I think actually there's only 21 or 22 cars on the entire grid, so the track shouldn't be too busy, so I should get lots of clear laps. I don't think the blue Class C Civic is racing, so I shouldn't have to worry about him. I think it would just be a case of getting my head down, hit my apexes, drive within my limits, so I'm not pushing too hard. I know naturally I've got the pace on the Swift, but I need to be fast enough to make up that 10 seconds, but slow enough as to not cause any accidents and put myself at risk. So yeah, Cadwell Park, let's have it. Don't swear, you're going on YouTube. Oh. Race day at Cadwell Park, here we are. I am so excited. The sun is out, but it's not too hot or humid, which is a good thing because it has been brutal over the last couple of days. So Sol is just prepping the car. Tyre pressure's done, we've been scrutineered. Done all the fluids, we're just giving it a quick clean and then we're ready to go qualifying. So we're sharing camping space with Jez in his G40. Should we have a look around the G40? It's a bit low, Jez.
It's the grass, it makes it look low.
Yeah, I thought so. So what's the spec of this one then? Was this a GT4?
GT5.
GT5.
So
it's got a sequential box?
It's got a sequential box.
Yeah.
1800 Z-Tech with just shy of 160 brake horsepower. Sequential box, limited slip diff. Weight for us in this class is 878 kilos to make 180 per tonne.
God, it's light, isn't it?
It is light.
Yeah.
Running on AO52s, and
yeah.
for this weekend is ridiculous big wang.
So you haven't had the wing before?
No, it comes with a rear stabiliser from Ginetta that we found out ours was broken. It had been, someone had lent on it, so we found it Setterton that down the straights. It was sitting on the boot lid, so doing nothing. It's exactly the right width.
I was going to say, you're close there, aren't you?
I might not be on the right channel.
So, have you got a front splitter on this?
We haven't at the moment. We have got one. We've got a full carbon splitter and flat floor from John Dundee.
So is this going to move your aero balance backwards though, so you're going to understeer?
It does move it back a little bit. Well, we were extremely pointy.
Right.
Like very, very, very positive on the front end. So I haven't driven it yet. Dan tested here on Friday and he reported that it was a little bit lighter at the front end but still drivable. Well, still very drivable. What we were struggling with especially here is high speed stability. So Coram at Snetterton was a bit of a nightmare. Anything where we need lots of rear stability to get the throttle down, we were struggling. So that's what this is to cure, and then
interesting.
The splitter will balance it out, we think. But a very nice wing from racecarwings.co.uk.
Racecar Wings?
I know.
What do they sell?
I like people whose company names tell you what they do.
Yeah. Jez's Radio, that's what we call you.
Exactly.
Let's run the car. It's the same batteries you're there on the radio.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's a nice wing. Nice bit of kit.
And round here's the car. Oh, it's looking shiny now, mate. It's that demon shine. Yeah. So we've got 25-minute session in qualifying to learn the track, get it all dialed in, and then 45-minute race this afternoon. Let's go. Okay, qualifying lap here at Cadwell Park, coming around the final corner in 4th gear, accelerating hard down the hill, up to 5th, and we're going to try and stay in 5th for 1/3 of this lap, all the way up to Park Corner. So, over the start-finish line. I'm going to have a slight confidence lift by the bridge, pitch the car in, back on the gas hard, blast up the hill, blind right-hander, and it stays blind. You can't see where you're going until you get to now, which is where you look for the inside curb and you're back on the gas as hard as you can as we blast along the park straight. As we're coming up this hill, you can't see where you're going, but you're just looking for the 100-metre board on the left-hand side. We want to brake just before that, stabilise the car, down 1 gear, get the car in. As we approach Chris Curve, we short shift to 5th and we blast around and we slowly drift the car out to the left-hand side, looking for the bollard on the middle, which indicates the gooseneck is coming up. Hit that curb, hit the inside curb, blast down the hill to Mansfield, which is a 3rd gear corner, so down 1 gear, down 2 gears, braking hard, must hit the inside curb there and accelerating hard on the outside. We've got a broken down car on the left-hand side. We're accelerating hard up to this next braking zone, which is down 2 gears. It's very bumpy for the mountain. So down to 4th, down to 3rd. Get that nose in. Hit that bollard, and then up over the hill. The car goes slightly light, but we're accelerating up to 4th gear, approaching the Hall bends. Right, don't cut the left. Another right, and then a left, and immediately braking hard for the hairpin. I'm staying in 4th in qualifying. And now accelerating up to Barn Corner, stay in 4th, think about downshifting, but I don't. And we accelerate round and back onto the start-finish straight. Get your gear changes right, and I finish just over half a second up on my best lap so far. Swift did? Okay. When I follow him, you're right. You screenshotted it, did you? 50.3. Is that a screenshot? No. Okay, because you're about to disappear. That makes on 1.1 seconds behind it. What's he got there? No, he's changed now.
What's the other one you can say?
He had the triangle behind him, so you might have a...
Yeah, because it disappeared off track after about 4 laps.
Oh, okay.
Because I wondered what happened. Yeah, it's stationary on the tracker, and then it comes with a little explanation.
Right.
But you didn't get, there was no between you didn't get any infringements.
No, it's easy to cut that curve, so I was being real. But there's a lot of corners where it's either third or fourth, there's not much in it.
I thought you were going to put a brake thing.
Yeah, after this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Okay, qualifying was a really interesting one, let's be honest. Pretty much learning the circuit from afresh. Obviously I knew where it goes, but the braking zones, corner speeds, what gear to be in, all that kind of stuff, very tricky. Now, it's very hot today, so I thought my tyres were overheating. So when I came in halfway through the session, I was expecting them to be sky high, because I was sliding around everywhere. Turns out, it's the other way round. The tyres were stone cold. What's happened is this track is actually quite slow this weekend overall, and the tyre warm-up takes a long time. So it was only really towards the end of the session, once I got some real core temperature into the tyres, that I actually started to bring my lap time down. So very strange, very confusing. So yeah, something to think about for the race. So anyway, the car's all good, no problems with it. Got the fuel in it. All the bits and pieces. So all I've got to do now is get changed, and we're going to go racing in about half an hour's time. No changes to the car, happy with it now. But I think, and I might regret this, that I'm going to go for a super aggressive start, because there's a Class B Porsche Boxster that's done an identical lap time to me. But obviously he should be much further up the grid. Now, well, that car should be much further up the grid. Not sure about the driver. But I know if I get stuck behind that driver and the Swift is in front of him, it's going to be really tricky to make any progress. So I think at the race start, I need to get past the Swift into turn 1 or turn 2. Definitely by Park Corner, turn 4 or 5. Anyway. And then I know I can hold the Swift behind me from that point. So I reckon I've got about 1.5 to 2 seconds of lap time in the car once I grow up and get myself sorted. But yeah, that's the plan. We'll see how it goes though. See how it goes. Rolling start. Probably the last time I'll race here in Roadsports for a long time, unless it's on, because they it hasn't been on the calendar for 5 years. It might not be again. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm really looking forward to the race. I do love it around here. It's just not one that I've driven much at all, so it's not my fastest. Anyway, let's have a race. Okay, here we are on the green flag lap. I am in P2 in class behind the Swift, but we've got this Class B Porsche Boxster behind us, who, if he manages to get ahead of us, will probably be very quick in a straight line, but will slow us up during the race. I did have a quick lock up there. But anyways, we come round the hairpin and then we approach Barn Corner. We get ready to go racing. I think the rest of the pack is gone. We come round. Oh no, they're lining up, they're getting ready to go. I'm accelerating hard. Falling back a little bit, but that's okay. Let's just try and stay with the Swift. That's the plan. If we stay with the Swift, we can do something. I do have a 15-second penalty to serve in this race. The Swift has got 5 seconds, so he's got a 10-second advantage on me. So I do need to find a way to mitigate that. Anyway, coming round, you can see the Swift has dive-bombed the Rover onto Park Straight. So let's see what we can do. Now, this Porsche behind me can blast past me, so I'm going to sit in the middle of the road and not give him the space to come past. And look, he's got the message. Coming up to Park Corner for the first time. Braking hard, but not too hard, because my tyres and brakes are still cold. The Rover's got back past the Swift, but they're having a bit of a ding-dong there. He's trying to gap me. He's trying to get away from me as much as he can to make my life more difficult. But I'm going to try to stay with him and see what happens. So the Swift and the Rover are still battling. We've just gone around Mansfield. The Rover's got a lot more power, so he blasts past. Now watch this move by the Swift. This is impressive. Brakes on the outside, on the bumps, and goes around the outside into the mountain. That is impressive. Anyway, up over the hill, past all the crowds on the left-hand side in the pavilion, into Old Hall Corner. Don't cut the inside there. That's where everyone was getting track limits in qualifying. Around the hairpin, which has got a huge curb on the inside, so you have to be careful of that. And around Barn Corner, onto the start-finish straight. So as you can see, the Swift is being a lot braver than I am on these opening laps. He's got much better tyre warm-up than I have, so he's able to do these really aggressive moves. Plus he's an absolutely insane driver anyway. Andrew, if you're watching, you are absolutely crazy. Anyway, into Park Corner again, down to 4th gear, get it in. I'm still building, I can still feel my tyres aren't quite there. They're sliding a little bit, my brakes aren't quite there, so I'm just trying to stay with them. See what we can do. Through the gooseneck and down towards Mansfield again. Let's see if the Swift has another go. Yeah, he pops out, has a quick look. Doesn't quite make it work. Got to hit the inside curb there every time. Really helps with your exit. Braking by the bridge for the mountain. Swift has dropped back a little bit from the Rover. He's clambering all over those curbs. He's not afraid of them. So I've dropped the Porsche a little bit behind, which is good. And I've managed to stay on the tail of these two. First overtake of the Swift, yes it is. So coming down the start finish straight, I'll give him a go. Thumbs up and around turn 1. Now what you'll notice in this race is the Swift is much better at turn 1 than I am. He just seems to carry a lot more speed. He's such a lighter car than me, but also he's got the confidence there. So anyway, I've come past him, and as we come down the park straight, I think I give him the thumbs up to say thanks. The next lap. Anyway, you can see our straight line speed is very similar. He's got a lot less power than me, but he is much lighter. So you can see how that power to weight ratio makes a difference. And look, into Park Corner he gained again there. Short shift up to 5th. Coming around Chris Curve. We're having a good old fight here. The Rover's dropped there, pulled away actually. But now the Porsche is coming back into view. Anyway, we come down through the gooseneck. I've got some speed there. 2 gears into Mansfield, and using my LSD, I'm able to pull quite a gap coming out of that corner. So at the moment, I'm thinking, great, I've gapped him. I'm doing all right. I'm obviously quicker at that part of the circuit than him. Down 2 gears into the mountain, get a good exit, blasting up the hill. Probably got 5 or 6 car lengths on the Swift now. I think in my head, I'm thinking, if I can stay with the Rover, I'm doing well. Swift has gained a little bit as well through that little section, onto the start-finish straight. at the gap behind. Look how much he gains of me through turn 1. I think he's pretty much flat through there while I'm still having a confidence lift. Coming around here, accelerating hard as early as I can. You'll notice there's no runoff around Cadwell Park. You're on the grass straight away. There's the thumbs up. Coming up the hill, looking for that 100-metre ball, but I'm going to brake. He gains on me a little bit. Down to 4th gear, accelerating hard. Don't short shift there, I'm keeping in 4th gear, seeing if that's any quicker. Then up to 5th there. Approaching the gooseneck, he drops back a little bit. The Porsche is staying with us, which is good news. So we're having a good fight here, good 3-way fight. The Rover's gapped us again there, look. So in the first part of the circuit, where it's long straights, he's got the edge on us. But let's see if we catch back up to him in the second part of the circuit. Swift is sticking with me through the mountain again, look. He's not giving up, is he, bless him? See if he gains on me through turn 1 again. Slight lift, turn it in, back on the power. Yep, look, he just carries so much more speed there. Something I really need to work on, because that is just phenomenal. Anyway, round we go. He's really on me again. I'm on the power early, and look, he's right on my tail. In fact, he's looking up the inside. Is he going for the overtake? I think he is, you know. I think he's just going to outbrake me into park. I brake at my usual point, and yes, he comes past me. Absolutely brilliant. What a fight we're having. Of course, I'm not going to give up, so I'm going to chase him. Let's see what he's like through the gooseneck. He carries some speed, doesn't he? Down the hill onto Mansfield. When I really start to gain on him there. The problem with this braking zone here for the mountains is incredibly bumpy, so if you brake at the wrong point, you will lock a wheel. You've got to get it right. Up over the mountain. I think the crowd on the left are having a great race to watch. Through Old Hall Bends, absolutely brilliant section. Braking for the hairpin, down to 3rd gear it looks like. Short shift to 4th. Oh no, yeah I do. Round onto the start finish straight again, and he's gapped me a little bit. He's gapped me. See, if you're brave through the first couple of corners on this track, you gain a lot of lap time, which is what he's doing. And it's where I'm just not confident. Anyway, I've managed to slipstream a little bit along Park Straight. Probably 4 car lengths back at the moment. I did notice at this point that through these corners I'm feeling a lot more grip from my tyres, so they're coming up to temperature now, which is good. I can start to push more, start to attack more, start to take more risks. Now if we look behind, the leaders are already coming through. So we're probably on lap 4 at the moment, and the leaders are already coming through, the Class A leaders. Let's see what they do. Oh, looks like they're going to get held up through the mountain. We don't do it on purpose, of course, but on some tracks there just isn't space to let them through. So I let the Civic go, and I let the Lotus go, but the Swift slots in between both of them. Oh, the Swift has gone wide. It looks like he got a knock there. Oh! So I'm back on his tail. Do I go for the overtake again? Yes, it looks like I am. Neck and neck down the start-finish straight, heading towards turn 1. He's close again. Is he going to try the overtake like he did last time? No, give him the thumbs up. Got another car coming through. Be predictable for them. We don't want to have an accident on the front runners. The leaders approaching from behind. Yeah, I waved from the inside there. I don't know if you've noticed that my transponder has fallen off from my dashboard and is now knocking around. That's the noise you can hear, so I do apologise, nothing I can do about it. The transponder's still working, still transmitting, but it's now just clattering around, and the camera that I use to capture the audio is being hit by the transponder. Anyway, round Charlie's again. The Swift is trying to stay with me, but he's a little bit more squirrely than before. I think his front tyres are starting to overheat. I think that's the situation. We've dropped the Porsche behind, so just the two of us having a good race now. He's good on the brakes, isn't he? Z4 coming through down the hill. We'll brake earlier, let him go, and then cut back underneath him to make sure we get a good exit like that. Oh, I've missed my braking point there. Oh, gone a little bit wide. So this is the type of race that you always want. In that it doesn't matter how many cars there are in class, it doesn't matter what circuit it is, it's just that you end up having a really good scrap with somebody, even better if it's for the win. Which is what's happening with this Swift behind. Having a great battle here. We've gone back and forward past each other a few times now. There's definitely parts of the circuit where he's quicker than me and I'm quicker than him. Look, he's had another go. He's come up my inside. You can't fault the bravery in this guy. What do I do here? Do I slipstream him? Yeah, I do. Yeah, as I was saying, these races where it's just great. Oh, I'll come back past him, look. We're just fighting for the win. And we're the only two cars in class. I've had easy wins before against large grids. I've had easy wins against small grids. I've had difficult wins against large grids. Matt Footman at Alton Park is a good example of that. And this is a difficult fight in a small grid. We're having a great time. Oh look, the Porsche's caught back up with us as well. So he survived the traffic. He joined back in. So I'm still pushing really hard. Okay, the pit board is hanging out, meaning that the pit window is now open, so we can now take our mandatory pit stop from now on. We have to do that. There's a 15-minute window. So it opens 15 minutes into the race and it closes at 30 minutes into the race. So the middle 15 minutes of the 45-minute race is where the pit window is. We have to take our compulsory pit stop within that window. Pit stops are usually 60 seconds, but in Roadsports you get success penalties. Now, because I've been doing particularly well in Roadsports this year, I've accumulated a 15-second penalty. The Swift has got a 5-second penalty, so I have to sit in the pit lane for a total of 75 seconds, 10 seconds longer than he does. So once the pit stops cycle out, he should be 10 seconds up the road from me, because if you notice our pace is pretty similar. So at the moment I'm not doing enough to mitigate that 10-second difference. I've talked about on the channel before, my car uses 0.6 litres of fuel every minute that we are on track, obviously running at racing speed. So around here we're doing roughly 1 minute 50 lap time, so I'm using around 1.15, 1.2 litres of fuel every lap that we go round, which equates to about 1 kilogram of weight per lap that we're losing as we go round. So as the tyres come up to temperature and the brakes get warmer and the fuel level comes down, the car does go faster and faster. And so what you'll generally do, if you look at my lap times, you'll see the general trend throughout the race is that lap times do start to drop, and it's kind of a consistent curve. Something that really helps, of course, is getting your tyre pressures right. Now we run 29 psi hot in our tyres, so when I come into the pit lane, Sol will check my tyre pressures. Oh, that the Suzuki's just gone in. But when I come in, Sol will check my tyre pressures and he will set them all to 29 psi. Now they will most likely be slightly above that, but when he resets them all, you come back out of the pits, the car feels vastly different in such a good way. It just feels smoother and faster and balanced. It's one of the best feelings is having perfectly balanced and pressurised hot tyres. Looks like the Porsche is still with me. So now that the Swift and I have separated on track, so he's now in the pit lane serving his stop. I'm still out on track circulating. Now he's going to come out on track before I go into the pits, so we'll be out on track at the same time but different parts of it. And when I go into the pits, serve my stop and my penalty, in theory he will come past the pit lane whilst I'm still in it. If I drive fast enough, he should come past me just as I'm exiting the pit, so that's what I'm really hoping for. Now, I can't remember if I do 1 or 2 laps longer than the Swift does, but we'll find out. Oh, missed the apex there. So this Porsche has slowly been reeling me in again. And he comes past me into turn 1. Didn't want that because he's going to hold me up a little bit now unless he really pulls away. Just looking in my rear view camera to see if I can see any signs of where the Swift is. Just looking for a flash of yellow. Looks like some of the Class C leaders are coming through. We've got Sam McKee in his blue BMW. We've got Jez in the Genetic G40 and what looks like another BMW come back behind. So they'll force their way through there. There's no easy place for them to pass me, so sometimes you just have to let them barge through because, you know, they have every right to be racing as well. So they've come past me there at the Gooseneck and at Mansfield. A couple of the other Class B and Class C cars behind. You'll notice with some of the Class C cars, we often corner at the same speed as they do. It's just that their straight line speed is better than ours, and that's where they often can gain that time. You see, they don't really pull away in the corners as much as you'd have thought, but on the straights they really do. Right, I'm into the pits. Now it's 50 kilometres here rather than 60, so super slow. Which in this car will be second gear, 4,000 RPM, into the pits and stop. And here's Sol already doing my tyre pressures, so he's on it straight away. Do you remember we talked about fuel consumption? Well, over the course of a race, 45 minutes, I use 27 litres of fuel. Which seems like a lot, and it is. I don't know what it works out to in miles per gallon, because in racing you work on litres per minute.
My brakes are okay?
Because that's obviously more consistent, because tracks are different lengths and have different throttle zones, but the amount of time you're driving always remains consistent.
I smell burning brakes. Yeah, there's lots of burning. Oh.
On top of the 27 litres of fuel that I run, I also carry the mandatory 3 litres reserve that you need, and that's a Motorsport UK rule. And then I also carry a further 4 litres of fuel as my own reserve, just in case. And that's also to help me make sure that at the end of a race I am over the minimum weight. Anyway, exiting the pits now. That's a good stop. We're looking for Swift. There he is. He's just gone past. Look. So that's the gap. Probably 6, 7, 8 seconds there. He's already gone round turn 1. I'm accelerating hard. Now as I come out of the pits, I'm flat through turn 1 and the car feels completely different. Sorting those tyre pressures out transforms the car. It's amazing. So now, what have I got to do? Well, if I want the win, I need to catch that Suzuki. It's the only thing I can do. So head down, racing hard. If you look behind, that same Class C battle from before my pit stop is coming up on me again. The BMW, the Ginetta, and the white BMW, and there's another car as well that might be a Class B car. Here it is. Looks like they're going to catch me at the same point as well, which is Chris Curve, the Gooseneck, and Mansfield. I think this time I don't let them through. Yeah, I block them a little bit. They can get me down the hill. Sam did come up to me after the race and apologise for barging through, which is absolutely fine. It's just the way it is, it's racing. Okay, so got clear track behind. These cars are going to scarper off in front of me, so I've got realistically I'm running in clear air now. I can't see the Swift at the moment. Come around the hairpin, can't see him. He's already on the start-finish straight. Now Sol can come on the radio and start telling me the gaps, because he knows I would want to know that. I need to know if the gap is increasing or decreasing, and if it's decreasing, that's a good thing, because it means I'm catching him. Starting to carry more speed through turn 1 now. The car is lighter, the tyres and brakes are perfect, and I'm feeling more confident. Okay, so that's the Porsche ahead of me and the Swift ahead of the Porsche. I can't remember if the Porsche is pitted or not, but I was ahead of him, so maybe he's come past me because he didn't have a penalty to serve at all. Anyway, let's see what we can do. Keep an eye on this red Civic behind to make sure he doesn't try and dive bomb me. And we're now accelerating up to the mountain. See the Porsche and I know where the Swift is, so this is on. The Civic doesn't dive bomb me into the mountain, which is good. The Porsche, curiously slow. And look, we've got a slippery track flag out. Something's going on down here. No overtaking. There was a car on the left, that's what it was. Through the old Hall bends. Porsche is slow, brakes early, and I got the inside. I don't want to be stuck behind him for any longer than necessary. So now it's just me chasing the Swift. And look, I can see him. There he is. Let's go, go, go. I think on that lap time I went 1.4 seconds faster than I had at any point previously. So clearly the car is coming alive now. Only lost a tenth or two having the Civic come past me. So if you look at my centre console where my lap timer is, there's the 4 green LEDs. They're updated constantly. Now they've got red and then back to green. way to read them is that if they're green, I'm going faster than I have done previously on my best lap. And if they're red, it means I'm going slower than I have done on a previous lap. Now, it might be that they turn red because I brake sooner than I have previously, because I'm trying to change how I'm driving a corner. And conversely, the green lights, they might be on when they were red before, but it doesn't mean I'm actually setting quicker lap times, even though I am sitting on that lap. 2 seconds faster or something? Interesting. Anyway, so I am on it, but the green lights are on, so I'm carrying more and more speed every time through turn 1, so I'm building up that confidence now, hunting down that Swift. There he is, look, oh, he's much closer, you can actually see he's much, much closer. It's one of the greatest feelings when you see the car you're chasing and getting closer and closer to you. Because one, it means you are driving faster than they are. 2, it means that you can start to calculate based on how long is left in the race and the rate at which you're catching them as to whether you might actually get a chance to overtake. So all I'm focusing on now, every time we come round, I'm looking at where he is relative to me. So I say, right, as we get to this bridge coming up now, how far away from him am I? And the next lap, I want to be closer to him when he reaches that point. And that's the way my brain works while we're racing. So coming through the mountain, you can see much closer now. I did actually feel a little bit sorry for him because he's been alongside his classic stock hatch championship assault this year. He's been doing these road sports races. He's got quite a few second places. He really wants to win, and I think this was his best chance. Okay, now I'm on him. Now I'm close enough. Now I can read his number plate. I'm with him. I am racing him again. So Mansfield and the exit of it in particular is where I'm really strong. So down 2 gears, hit the inside curb, accelerate hard, and you'll see I gain loads of time on him. Wow, okay. He goes to the inside, I go to the outside, we both swap over, so I try to switch back, it doesn't quite work, he brakes hard into the mountain. I'll just follow him through, it's still got these slippery track flags out. They've recovered the car on the left hand side, following through Old Hall Bend. He's really pushing quite hard, it's very impressive. I think he had a slight lock up there into the hairpin. But I'm on him now, I'm really on him. Round barn corner, accelerating hard, run it wide. Do I get in his slipstream? Yes I do. I try and blast past him. I think I actually missed a gear shift there, bounced off the limiter. But here we go, this is the overtake for the lead. Into turn 1, round the outside, made it work. He's staying with me though, isn't he? Bless him. Give him the thumbs up, he gives me one too, so we're all good. Now, what I need to do is build a gap. I must build a gap just in case I make a mistake. I've got that headroom there to recover. So if I lock a wheel or I go run wide onto the grass, I can recover the car and stay in front. So that's what I need to do. That's why I need that gap. See, the Swift is now 10, 12, 13 car lengths behind me, so I'm pulling away. I know after the race he told me that he had overheated his tyres at this point, which is why he was struggling, whereas my car had just gone the other way and completely come alive. So I've really pulled away from it now. I'm just going to let you enjoy some of these low fuel lap times now. You know, the car is getting really light. We've probably only got 8-9 minutes of the race left at most. So the car is light on fuel, tyres and brakes are perfect. I'm dialed into the circuit, I'm in the lead, and I'm trying to build a gap. Enjoy. Okay, this is actually the final lap of the race, and I'll show you why shortly, but as we come up to the mountain, I stay in 4th gear rather than 3rd, and then you'll see the car's really slow, and I realise my mistake up to 3rd, blasting along here. Now, you'll notice there's no flags being waved, nothing at all through Old Hall Bends, sorry, but as we come up to the hairpin, I brake, and I start to slide, and there's a Janetta in on the left, coolant everywhere, almost had a big accident there, and this is why you build your gap. Slippery flag there though, oh thanks for that. But as we come around the final corner, down the start finish line, bouncing off the limiter if I can, and that is race win number 3 for me so far this year. Right in the van on the way home, Sol's driving. Good race that. Good old battle with the Swift. The Porsche Boxster got involved as well. He was a couple of classes above, but we had a good old 3-way tussle there. We were pretty much all on the same pace for the opening stint. The Suzuki was carrying so much speed through turn 1, turn 2 and turn 3 onto the park straight that I really struggled to match what he was doing. And the car is a lot lighter, so that may have something to do with it. But yeah, anyway, probably 10, 11, 12 laps, I think it was, and then he pitted. I came in a couple of laps afterwards. As I came out of the pits, the car felt completely different, so much faster. And I went from lapping in the 50s, 51s into 48s, 49s. So I just reeled him in, came past him, and then he struggled to stay with me, and I had a 10-second gap at the line. So all in all, a really good race. We got P1, and I finally got a trophy at Cadwell Park, so that's just amazing. Really, really happy. Glad we did it. Phil and Matt won at Snetterton in Club Sport Trophy, so congratulations to them. They also got the lap record, which has stood since October 2021. So yeah, about time that one went. So congrats to them on that. Great win. I've had a win at Cadwell Park, and we're all teed up for the next one. Now, my next outing, I was going to do road sports at Silverstone International, but old Nick Ramsden's coming out of retirement to share the car with me in Club Sport Trophy at Silverstone National, which is on the same day as road sports. So while they're all over on the international circuit, we'll be on the national, trying to grab ourselves a trophy or two. So yeah, I haven't told the rest of them yet, so yeah, hopefully they take it too. They're all right with it, but yeah, there we go. So thank you very much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up, comments down below, hit the subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you all at the next one.